Hello, hello, hello. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to No Noiz. It is Saturday, January 9th, 2021. And we're about to get it going. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Well, thank you for tuning in over there, Melly Mel. That's hilarious. I just saw your message. All right, let's get it in. We're just going to go ahead and jump right in. I don't have any crazy things to talk about. I mean, there is crazy stuff to talk about. We're not going to. We're just going to talk about some charts. There's other channels and stuff you can go for that. All right. Bitcoin. Actually, let's jump over to coin market cap because, you know. Or coin checkup, sorry. Coin market cap sucks. Pretty green day today. There is just, it's pretty much splattered with green everywhere. Let's take out some of these garbage ass projects. Oh yeah, look at BSV. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. We've been waiting for that one. So it's nice to see. Maker just won't stop either. That's interesting. This is kind of fresh look for me. I'm kind of jumping in at the moment. Fresh eyes. Just hanging out with the kiddo earlier. All right, let's go to the market cap. It's continuing to climb. Let's see if we can zoom in a little bit. Yeah, all right, kind of stalling out here at that 1.1 trillion mark, kind of going flat. So nothing really exciting there. Dominance still about 68%. And that came off of a pretty big high. Let's actually go look at that, because check that out on TradingView. It's just the ticker BTC.D. You can see I got monkey hammered here earlier with this after hitting low 70s. Kind of had a little bit of a rally, but the alts are coming to the party, it looks like, so that's nice. Good old alt party action, which we've clearly can see when we went back over here and saw this action. I mean, look at these big moves. It's hot token, Holla, whatever. So much garbage on here. It's 1/10 of a penny. Watch out. Get rich. Yeah, ain't touching that crap. But anyway, back over to dominance. Yeah, so it looks like Bitcoin's losing some of its dominance here over the last week. Not super surprising. It hasn't been rallying as hard. It's been stalled out the last couple days, just kind of staying up here in this little range. Still has nice momentum, looks really good to the upside. Nothing's really changed since the last video. We did get a little bit closer to that lower for like 4,200 area. What was that? Yesterday. So there was a little bit of a pump coming to our first resistance here at about 43,000. If you don't remember, these are in the older videos. These are fib extensions from these moves. And there's another one kind of around here. Depending how you draw them, I mean, it is an art, so I kind of draw them a few different ways and then make a range from where they're all kind of falling. So there's a lot of overhead resistance right here, so we'll see how that plays out. But overall, we are still very bullish in this structure. The one thing that still holds true, though, on medium-low time frames is this bearish divergence. Let's open this chart up a little bit. You can see from this peak to here, we do have a high about there, and then we do have a higher high here with lower highs on the momentum oscillators down here. So I did add this little trend line just for visual sakes. It's a little bit easier to follow. So that's the only concern for momentum, is that on medium time frames, probably up to about a, well, let's just go look real quick. 4 hour, yeah, about the same thing. I mean, 3-4 hour, that's about the same. 6 hour has it. Let's see if it's creeped into the 12 hour yet. No, not really. So it's kind of working its way into the higher time frames. We are getting this little consolidation right about in the 50s, in the mid 50s, upper 50s. So it's not super, it doesn't really mean anything because you always have to default to the higher time frames. It just possibly could be a warning that there's some momentum getting lost here. And that's why I also have this blue trend line on the RSI, because if it breaks out over this, I do have an alert on it, which you can see right there, that little clock. It just means there's an alert on this trend line. And that's really easy to do on TradingView. If you want to ever do that, you can draw anything you want on TradingView, and all you have to do is literally right-click it, and you can see here it says Edit Trend Line Alert. If there wasn't one, which we can just do real fast, you know, there's a new one, and you can do Add Alert, and you can put on all kinds of different stuff. I might make little videos on kind of navigating TradingView, because I probably take it for granted a little bit. It just is like second nature to me, but I know a lot of other people probably are like, hey, what the hell, how'd you do that? So maybe we'll do some little tutorials for TradingView in the near future, like on some static videos. But I digress, back to some charts. Yeah, so as soon as this breaks back over this trend line, I would negate this pattern of divergence and not worry about it too much, because again, in the higher time frames, I mean, there's nothing bearish yet. If we can get this creeped into it daily, which has a lot of work to do, we probably won't even see that for at least another week or two, if it does happen. So nothing too crazy yet. Just I'm keeping a very close eye on this to see if it creeps back up into like the 12-hour time frame and up. But right now it is only showing in like 8 and below. So it looks like it's kind of just consolidating here, possibly getting ready for another pump. Altcoins have looked really good, so that bodes well for the market as a whole. Let's see. I did want to show something I was looking at last night. Let me turn off some of these drawings because I got too many damn drawings on here. The one thing that is a little bit crazy is we are really far away from the exponentials on a weekly. let me add the 21 exponential on here. And then let's take off this one. Okay, so a little bit cleaner chart here. So you can see the 21 exponential on a weekly is literally 53% away. That is a very big percentage to be away from the 21 weekly. Usually price will kind of come back in and tap to it, but literally since October 5th, the weekly hasn't even come close to it. So that's definitely showing we are super frothy right now. Doesn't mean that it's gonna come back like tomorrow or right, like whatever. Like timing analysis is really almost impossible to do. I'm not sure if it can be done, but anyway, like this is showing that we're just kind of in totally irrational exuberance mode. You can see like back here in the tops of the 2017 run a few years ago, it got about in that same area, about 58% away from the 21. And to be fair, you know, right here it was 42%, and then it came back and kind of got close to it. Here it actually touched it after getting about 40% away, and here it was about 45% away before it came back and touched it and resumed the trend. This is healthy. This is like usually, you want to see this. This is better as far as sustainable to the upside. This is getting a little bit crazy. That's one concerning thing, along with the lower time frames having divergence. Here's another one at about 36% before it touches it. The only times I found in history for Bitcoin is back in 2013, where it was higher than that. And there's one right here, 75% almost above the 21. So it can get more extended. And let's see, there's a 62. And so this candle is akin to the one where we're at now. So, you know, we could still have this little crazy blow off top. It literally doubled from there. That's bananas. I'm not sure if that's in the cards, but hell, the one thing I do know is ain't no one knows shit. So that could definitely happen. Anything's on the table. If that does start playing out, I would be almost certain that a candle would follow like this. And this candle, just for reference, we talked about it a couple days ago, in a week's time Bitcoin dumped 81%. Now, to be fair, it did rally back up about 80-90% off that low where the 21 was, but man, if you can imagine, in a week you're like up, everyone's feeling good now, their profits are nice. And then all of a sudden, in like a few days within that week, it's like, man, 70-80% down. Like, that's a brutal roller coaster emotionally to ride. So do kind of be cautious of that. That is very much becoming a possibility. And so there's that one time for the extension from the 21. And the only other time that was pretty close was right here. And it was about 65-70% from it before it came back and tapped it. And that ultimately actually put in the local high for that move for probably, what, about till 2015? Yeah, till 2015, which is here. And then we had the new 2-year run up to 20,000. So, you know, just kind of food for thought there. Doesn't mean that it's going to act exactly the same, but it is kind of a fractal, and it might rhyme a little bit. So this is just on any asset. It doesn't even matter if it's Bitcoin or whatever. Just this is just showing market participants are extremely excited at the moment. So, which is cool. I know I'm excited. A lot of my friends are excited. There's all the justification is there to be excited. So let's keep partying until we see something that tells us not to. All right, let's go to Ethereum. Check that out. Ethereum is looking good. Had that nice little dump yesterday, as a lot of stuff did. But it looks like that was just a little quick liquidation break. We're already pumping, and this looks like Ethereum is about to go test 1,400 and probably make a new high. As I said a couple days ago, I mean, I would be shocked if this doesn't get up to previous all-time highs back in January of about, what is that exactly? Oh, yeah, that's right. 1,420. 1,420. Great number right there. So that's still another 10-12% from these levels. If we get this medium-term time frame close above like 1,300 to be safe on a 2 to 6 hour, it's almost certain that it'll go make new highs. So be on the lookout for that, especially if we regain the exponential here on the DMI. Let's see if I have any drawings on here. Nope, nothing too crazy. So yep, that is looking really strong and awesome. Let's see how far away Ethereum is from its 21. Yep, about the same, about 54%. And let's compare it here. I did not do this comparison last time. 50s, so 59% before it ended up rolling over. Yeah, so do be cautious of this area where we're at. Don't be afraid to take, you know, profits or whatever if you'd like. If not, you know, it's all good. To each his own. This definitely isn't financial advice. Don't listen to me. I don't know shit. So LTC, let's look at Charlie Lee. Charlie Lee's looking great as well. Let's see here. It's got a long ways to go to its all-time high. I don't know if it's going to get there at 350-ish. It has got lots of work to do. But to be fair, again, this is the same thing. Look at that. We talked about the other day, this local high here, around 130-ish. As long as it stayed above that, it's bullish as F. And you can see the wick for this weekly so far came right down to like that previous little area here where this doji is, which is a candle that looks like a cross, kind of little flat with the wicks on upside equal. But anyway, yeah, so this doesn't look bad at all. Let's see if it has any divergences. Oh, yes, it does. So it's showing the same thing kind of as Bitcoin on the medium time frames. So as soon as it takes out this high, though, and breaks back above like 66, 67 on the RSI, then the divergence is negated, and we have to wait for it to set up again. But still kind of the same thing, just kind of showing a little slight warning. But no, you always have to default to higher time frames. When you start trading low time frames like sub-daily, man, you will get so much noise and shook out a lot of trades, and it's usually real dangerous to trade super low time frames unless you're like scalping and doing things that your strategy is what do you call it, written for lower time frames, which means you're not going to be getting like larger moves too. So but hey, to each his own on that. Yeah, clearing this at 180. Let's look at it the daily. Yeah, same thing, about 185. If we get a close above 185 on this daily, this should have continuation to probably at least this consolidation area, which is about 224. So that's a pretty good run here. You know, that's another 30% on Litecoin. But man, it is super extended, 50% above. It looks like they're all about the same in the 50s. And 65 was the extension from here, from that yellow line, which is the 21 EMA, exponential moving average, if you did not know. So Litecoin's looking pretty good there. Let's go to everyone's favorite, Ripple. Ripple's consolidating here above the 21 on a daily. And real basically, if the daily is below or above the 21 EMA, that is kind of an easy way to default for trend. You can see when it broke down here from the 21 and the cyan one, which is like a 10 simple. You can see that it had massive follow through. Still had some follow through here, just a little bit. You do have to watch out for these little pumps. Ultimately, the 55 is better, but the daily can give you a little bit of a kind of a clue. And this is looking pretty good. You got this little consolidation at the top range of this body on the candle, which is this close at about 32 cents. So again, this is the same for Ripple. As long as it stays above this wick, which is right where this horizontal is, that has been on this chart for a really long time, 28 cents. Yeah, so as long as it stays there, which it got bid and defended by the bulls there, so this looks good. I don't have any reason to really hate this until we're back below 27 cents. XLM looks really awesome. It is just, it's crazy that they're at parity with XRP. That doesn't happen very much, but yeah, here we are. They're both at about 32 cents. Same on this. Looks really good as long as we're holding. This one's a little bit looser because this big candle here, I would say as long as we're kind of holding this wick high at about 24 cents, it's all good in the hood. Let's see, weekly looks just insane. All right, can't really get much out of that. Oh, and look at this. This is exactly what you want to see for bullish continuation. You have it come below, consolidates right around the yellow while staying above the orange, which is a 55, and then now it is about to regain the exponentials here. So, and this closes in 8 minutes. So that could be confirmation of continuation on stellar lumens. So if that happens and we get one more candle close, maybe two more today above this zone, this is likely going to have continuation, and we might be in for, hell, let's do some fib measurements real quick, some extensions. Looks like the 1618 is just the top of the range at about 42 cents, and it looks like 2618. Let's go ahead and just mark that horizontal, and we'll kind of split the difference of the 618 and the 4618 here, right around there. Delete that. Yeah, so 1618, this continuation would easily probably bring price back up to the upper 30s, and we get a close, a medium-term candle close above this body here, then it's very probable we go to about 50 cents. So stellar lumens looking really nice. Let's check out BSV, which is everyone's favorite. Nah, I'm just kidding. Everybody hates this damn coin for whatever reason. It's like it has as much hate as XRP does. If you were around back in the day, it's kind of like Bitcoin Cash and Roger Ver. Everyone just hated that for, I don't know why. But after many days and many months, actually, a few months of consolidation, even let's zoom out a little bit. Sorry, I've got all kinds of shit drawn on this chart. There we go. Many weeks of consolidation all the way back to September. This finally resolved to the upside in a very explosive way. Just today alone, it's up like 50%, and at the high, it was up about 75%. So this is a really good looking chart as long as we're staying above this local high over here at about 250-ish. Say between 230, 250. This trend is going to confirm to some upside, and the daily does close here in a few hours. So as long as that daily can stay above this area right here at about 250, we're good to go. Let's look at the 3 hour. We did get to a 90 read on this, and we also got to, oh wow, we got to a 70 on here, so that's really strong. So I would expect some consolidation here for a little bit in this range if it is going to continue. So looks really good. This one was an awesome trade. There's a lot of charts that have looked like this, or they just consolidate, and they haven't gotten any love. You know, other coins were just overshadowing them, but it finally came to fruition. And so that's a nice trade right there. Let's see. Already hit the second target I had just today. Here at one. Oh, I'm sorry, not one. That's the total amount. About a 320. So yeah, and then my next fib target is all the way up here at the middle of this channel at about 450. So we'll see if we can make that over time. But right now, looking pretty good. Let's go to IOTA because it had the similar pattern of the consolidation. Oh, crap. Not as pretty, but still pretty decent. Just hanging out around here for months and months. And now we finally got that continuation that we were speaking of. So that's really nice. And as long as price on this stays above high 30s, about 40 cents, this is going to have some pretty good continuation, I'd imagine. To, let's see, is that it? Nah, let's get a different chart up here. Not Binance. Bitfinex probably has more history on it. Oh yeah, there we go. Let's go back to auto. Yeah, so if the weekly can close above this local high at about 42 cents, upper 40s is super likely. And after that, you're probably looking at this cluster zone with all this business done, which is at about almost $1. So, wow, that's a lot higher than I thought it would be. So that would kind of be the target if this weekly can close above this. This is looking real strong. I like that a lot. And so just kind of continue checking that out. Let's follow up on Atom. We looked at Atom the other day for a buddy of mine. Looking pretty good still. I really like this setup on the daily. We do need it to get over $7 fairly quickly, though, or it'll likely roll over. I'd say we need to get like within the next few days, preferably. Otherwise, it's going to start spaghetti stringing these EMAs again, kind of like how this looks, and then it's going to be harder to read. But right now, this is really good. You've got the short-term, medium-term, longer-term EMAs. They're all pointing up. They're expanding. This is exactly what you want to see. That's textbook awesomeness. And you do see, here we go. Here's this, excuse me. Here is the kind of same pattern I was talking about earlier where it regains the exponential down here on this chart for the RSI. And you can see it kind of just starting to get momentum back. So the 3-hour closing above 675 should bring in and usher in that bigger move, at least to probably this cluster about 750 to $8. So that's kind of where I'm looking at for Atom. So that one has some good push. Let's go to what was the other one we looked at? BAT. Let's follow up on BAT. BAT token is also looking really awesome, taking off, doing kind of the same thing. There's nothing bearish about this. We got the same pattern here, regaining the exponential right here, breaking out. This one actually looks better than Atom. This one's kind of confirming. Yeah, we got only 2 minutes left on this candle, so we're kind of confirming this breakout here. And it's closing above this previous local high, or it's potentially about to close above it. Probably, though, in 2 minutes. So that looks really good. So probably targeting this next little cluster area of about mid-30s. I'm going to go ahead and put an alert right there. See if we can get that going. I'm also going to put one on the downside too, because you don't want to just assume that shit goes up. Anything can happen. So that's looking pretty nice. I like that. Let's go over to, what do we want to do? Oh, let's look at equities. And I'm going to show the dollar, because I keep forgetting to show the US dollar. Man, the US dollar is starting to rally pretty hard. We'll go to that chart here in a second after we finish the S&P and NASDAQ and all those fun ones. So the weekly close just happened yesterday. I mean, Jesus, there's nothing bearish about this, like, at all. You're not even in the upper end of the range on RSI. See, I mean, look at this consolidation looking up, pointing directly, super erect, all the way, green dildos in the face. They're just flying at you. This market is just on fire. Whether you like the reasons for it happening, it doesn't matter. The market doesn't give a shit about your opinion. It's just going up right now. And you do have this little 3 white soldiers pattern, which is 3 kind of green candles in a row like that, just stacking on each other. Hadn't seen that in a while, since back over here in November. I mean, there's just nothing bearish about this. You don't have any divergence anywhere. Well, I guess maybe super slight divergence on the low time frame, medium time frame, but it's not really enough to care about yet. This is just looking just fantastic for bulls. It's just absolute batshit crazy that we're doing this. But hey, you know, oh, there is weekly divergence. Here you go, from this local high to this new one. So you do have divergence there. But don't get too excited about that, because as we discussed the other day, look at this. You look at all this divergence here while this ran up for like a whole nother year and a half. And you can even go back to 2000, and it had negative divergence almost for like 3 years straight. So divergence isn't everything. You got to kind of just look at the higher time frames, and price is king. So as long as it keeps showing strength and staying above the short and medium term averages, there's no reason to think otherwise. That's, like I said the other day, the stupid saying of the trend is your friend. I hate it too, but it's very true. All right, see, NASDAQ looking about the same type of candle, a little dump earlier in the week, and just continuation so far. Even with all the crazy stuff happening, it just doesn't matter. It's just pump it up. So, pretty wild. This is just in blue sky breakout mode. I mean, there's not much you can do analysis-wise on this except for some fib extensions, which we've already done here. Where's the shorter one, though? The 1618 is right there at 13.5, so that's probably the next zone where it'll go to, and probably maybe stall and chill out there for a second. So yeah, just nothing bearish about this chart at all. I mean, look at this monthly. I mean, it's insanity. This is clown world markets. Let's get it. Don't overthink it. It's bullish as F. So there you go. Let's go to the Russell, because the Russell was a leader for most of this rally, and it continues to show its strength. Last week it was up almost 6% alone, just in closing above this measured move here at about 2065, and so that's looking really nice for a continuation. Even the sell-off on Friday got caught right at that level. This isn't the best looking candle, but as long as it's above this big green dildo here at 2050-ish, I wouldn't even think about shorts at all. So looking pretty damn good. Let's zoom in a little bit. Yeah, we did lose a little bit of the momentum at the end of the day on Friday. You can see it lost the shortest term moving average, this cyan one, and it's also below the exponential here on the RSI. So kind of, that could just be reset, liquidation break for further move upside. Again, I don't even care about bears until we're back below like 2050 on Russell. Doesn't matter. Dow, look at this. Candle's a little bit deeper than the other ones, so it's showing a little bit of relative weakness compared to its brothers in the market. And that looks like about a 618 there too. Yeah, right about it. So that's interesting. This one looks probably the weakest out of the four majors, but again, staying above this candle. And let's look at the weekly. Yeah, the weekly looks great. So you always should default to higher time frames, because you can start getting into the, oh, let's look at the 7-minute, man. You'll make yourself go crazy and trade way too much, and trading too much eats up money and commissions and just time too. It's exhausting. Everybody's got other shit to do than just sit and watch charts all day, so just default to higher time frames and do yourself a favor. But again, that's not advice financially, because I don't know shit. Don't listen to me. All right, let's go to VIX, see how the VIX closed. Oh gosh, monkey hammered all the way back down to this super consolidation zone. I mean, geez, it just keeps getting back in here, and I'm just going to draw a little box there real quick. So this right here, as long as VIX stays above this box or in it, it's best to be pretty cautious about violent moves that can just pop up out of nowhere. So if we got sub 19 on the VIX, then I would not be surprised if markets just like, I know it sounds crazy, but they could double from where they are now, like in the next year or two, which is absolute bananas. But hey, think about it. The Russell is up 100% just from the March lows and the coronavirus sell-off. So never say never, right? Let's look at the weekly. Yeah, just getting monkey hammered. It's not the best looking setup, but VIX is very hard to read. It doesn't follow TA as much as other things do. I do like to look at the volatility on the VIX. It's kind of funny. It's the VVIX. So instead of the volatility on the S&P 500, which is what VIX does, the VVIX is the volatility on the volatility. I know that sounds super confusing, but it's a good metric. Again, this medium threshold above here, again, it's like the 2019 area for VIX. So as long as this is staying above here too, I'm not ruling out insane, violent moves to the upside on the VIX, which would correlate to downside action in markets. All right, let's go to the dollar before I forget that one. The dollar right here, rallying hard off these lows. We haven't seen pretty good reaction from this in a while. A little bit of a blip here. Ultimately, we do need to get back above the medium-term yellow exponential here, and it tried to do that on Friday. Looked pretty good. The one thing that is kind of showing that this might get continuation, possibly. It is a pretty ugly-ass chart, because you look on the weekly, it just looks like death. But you do have bullish divergence here on the weekly, and you also have it on the daily with the RSI pointing up. So you do have to be cautious about that. And if dollar starts running here, because not only is dollar running, but rates are running up too. Here we go. Look at this. This is TNX, the 10-year Treasury yield. So you have the rates running up, and they're coming up to this trend line. If we break out of this trend line, I would be very skeptical of further upside in almost anything, whether it be gold, Bitcoin, markets, a lot of stuff. King Dollar likes to put the pressure on the markets when it starts to rally. And so if we go back to DXY, just real quick, we can see this little pop looking pretty good. And then we can go see gold, which got absolutely monkey hammered from the dollar getting a little bit strength, and the rates going kind of getting some strength as well via TNX. Sorry. And so gold just monkey hammered. This is a big ass move. Funny, it's right here at election time. It's almost showing the exact same structure. We do have a lot more support though right here in the lower 1800s. We lose this trend line in this local low here at 1776-ish area. That's a good number. Funny for gold to be like kind of support around there. If that breaks, which is also coinciding with this horizontal, then man, yeah, the dollar is probably going to start rallying real hard. And yeah, just be cautious of almost anything that you hold long term, because next week is going to be real interesting, just given the stuff that happened this previous week. I'm sure I don't have to talk about all of that. Everybody knows very much about it, but this is not good price action. The best thing about it is that it just stalled right here on this consolidation and this trend line. So as of right now, though, that is a rejection, a breakout rejection. So it is a little bit on the bearish side. Let's look at silver. Silver, same thing. Absolutely brutal move. 9.6%. Wow, I didn't even see that on Friday. I wasn't at the computer that much yesterday, hence missing the live stream as well. But wow, absolute brutal move, because silver was looking really good for the upside, and it just got monkey hammered. On a weekly, though, you do still have this little pennant formation kind of breaking out of, and it did find support at the weekly 21 and the previous resistance line. So kind of like gold, it came right to a really good supply zone, and as long as it holds kind of this cluster at about 24 bucks, it's all good. On the monthly, it can even go down a little bit further to like 22.5, and it would still be okay, which is another 7 or 8% down. So not the best looking thing. It is kind of saying, oh, watch out, but that's likely because of that dollar and the rates going up in the latter part of the week. So I'm keeping a strong eye on this, because I do hold some exposure to the silver. All right, what else did I want to look at? Let's see what Hershey's is doing, what I like to call the smart money indicator, still in this freaking consolidation. The one thing I did notice this week, though, is up here, this is the historical volatility percentage, HVP. This measures like the moves and how violent they are relative to itself in the past. So you can see right here, it got super crazy bright red because obviously this giant sell-off. That Hershey's almost never moves like this, 30% down. We can even zoom out real fast to show you that. I mean, Hershey's pretty much just goes up. Chocolate, everyone loves chocolate pretty much, and their business has been the same for a long time. But this is different. This signal here is different than the red over here. This is actually showing that the volatility is 0. It's a 0 read on the daily, which is a significant time frame for something like Hershey's. to have a 0 read. So it is super quiet. This thing is definitely going to be breaking out of this trading range in this rising wedge, which is the blue lines here in this triangle. It is definitely going to be doing that here soon, and it's probably going to keep doing it until earnings, which are on February 4th, which is funny because that's right about the apex of this triangle. They usually only go about 70-80% full. This one looks like it's going to pull a crypto Bitcoin and fill that bitch all the way up. Crypto loves to do that, especially Bitcoin. I've seen Bitcoin fill up triangles all the way to the apex and go sideways out of the apex multiple times. It's pretty funny. That is rare for assets, but this is showing that there's a big move on the horizon for Hershey's. And if this breaks out to the upside, that would really give me great confluence that the market will have continued bullish action in the near term. But if this starts breaking down and we start losing this structure, and especially getting back below like 140, mid 30s, yeah, I'd be very cautious of the rally. All right, let's look at the euro real quick. Oh my goodness, I'll figure it out. Yeah, see, the euro is kind of showing that dollar weakness as well. It's finally kind of breaking some of the structure. This is probably one of the worst daily closes that it's seen since like some of this action back here. So that's definitely noteworthy. But it really has to lose this little wick that it made. Let's look at it on a weekly. Yeah, see, we could still fall all the way down to like 120, 121, which is probably right around here, yep. Yeah, so that's not looking great, but as long as it holds it at about 121.50, then it's probably all right. But given some of the other moves we've seen with TNX and stuff, yeah, I would be very cautious about the dollar. And again, if the dollar starts rallying hard, I will be de-risking on lots of things. I'll put it that way. That's my opinion. Okay, I don't know shit, like I said earlier. All right, let's look at Maker. Maker, Jesus Christ. This is just bananas, man. Holy shit, what is this? 169%. Oh, another cool number. I mean, look at this weekly. I mean, what the absolute hell? Why am I on Gemini? No one wants to look at Gemini. Let's go to Bitfinex. We get a lot more history. Yeah, look at this. Consolidation for a year almost. A little dump for coronavirus. But yeah, consolidating for a year, and this thing is just breaking the F out. Oh man, this looks really good. As long as price is above like $1,000, there's nothing to be bearish about on this at all. So there's not really much other TA you can do on it either. It's regained the exponentials. Looks great. Looks great. There's one more that we wanted to look at on here. Oh, look, ZRX. That's interesting that one's getting up. Let's go look at that real quick. Not on Hiobi, though. Yeah, let's look at it on Bitfinex. Damn, look at that. Nice looking chart. Let's zoom out a little. I don't need no 3 hour on this one. Man, look, see the same pattern. There's a lot of coins that look like this and that are breaking out. I guess some of the Bitcoin love is spreading out to the others here, and this looks really good. Staying above 47, 48 cents. There's no reason to be bearish on this at all. Weekly, probably likely that it comes up here to like 72 cents, 70, like low 70s. It almost actually did here on this run today at like low 60s, so that's a pretty good run. Let's see. Let's actually see if we can maybe find one of those type patterns, possibly. I don't know. I'm just kind of scrolling, and over here on this coin checkup, you can kind of see like the chart on these little things, like a little mini version of the chart. So sometimes I kind of use that to see if I can get a little edge. Here, Vetcoin might be one. Let's go look at it. Not an edge, but just kind of, it's already doing it. Same kind of pattern though. Consolidation, broke out, liquidation break, and continuation. So on Vetcoin, staying above 2.5 cents, or no, that's not 2.5, sorry. Let's just call it 2 cents. We'll be a little conservative. 2 cents, it looks great. See if we can find one more that hasn't popped yet, possibly. Rev, I don't know what the hell that is. It's got 85 billion. What is that right here? 85 billion. Oh yeah, we don't care about that. Yeah, that's a lot. So nothing really. Let's look at Enigma. That one possibly. Oh, nope. Enigma's getting monkey hammered. Holy moly. Yeah, now see, on the flip side, you're having the exponentials start to expand the other way. This looks terrible. Anything, I mean, holy shit, this is a huge move. Oh, wow, something must have really bad happened with Enigma. And this is the problem with altcoins, too. Be careful. Because literally the last 3 days alone, this shit's down like 70-80%. Absolute terrible chart. The best thing that it's doing is kind of bouncing off of this consolidation. But, man, terrible, terrible. Well, let's just pretend I didn't show that one. Let's pull up one more possibly, and then we'll move to the closing final statements. DGB. Let's go to Digibyte. Ooh, Digibyte. I like this. This is nice. This kind of has that consolidation pattern. Nice opening up on the EMAs. Getting some momentum going. Can we go weekly? Yeah, weekly. If the weekly needs to get above 3.5 cents on the close though to really get excited. If it does, man, this thing is probably going to run to this area right around here, around 60 cents. So let's see if we got any divergences. No, just kind of consolidation. Looks like it's regaining. It's attempting to regain here. And so that looks pretty damn good. Not too shabby for Digibyte there. Yeah, I like that. As long as it's holding about 2.5 cents, like I said, good to go. All right, let's go to Bitcoin again. Wrap it up. All right, the BTC. This is Mama Bear chilling. It looks like it wants to go up into this range right here. It really does. I wouldn't be surprised. What is it? 3 o'clock Central Time. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens like today or this weekend before markets open. And by markets open, I mean CMEs, the futures on Bitcoin. So that's actually, we need to throw Bitcoin future analysis in here because that's important. This is where all the pros are playing. Yeah, just gap, filling it up, just partying up. Look at all this volume on this thing too. It's the most volume ever on this chart right here. We'll just look at this. Look at this shit. It's like, what is that? It's about double the average volume that we've ever seen. I mean, this is massive. Very far away, kind of showing the same things. Let's see if it has a divergence on the lower time frames. Interestingly enough, it doesn't have textbook divergence. So, wow, okay, shit. There is noteworthy gap, big gap around here. I would not be surprised if this gets filled in the next few months at some point, which is around mid 20,000s, 23, 24,000s. Yeah, that gaps generally get filled. They really do. So, but we can't really care about that until we see some structure breaking down here. Let's go back to the spot chart. And yeah, so this is looking good. Like I said, nothing's really changed. We do still have the bearish divergence popping off here on the medium time frames, but again, it's kind of doing this little consolidation pattern, so the move is likely coming fairly soon. If we get a medium term time frame close above 41.6, maybe even possibly this consolidation here, this wick, nah, screw that, because we're talking, these numbers are big. It needs to close. It needs to get above this closing candle here at about 41.5, 41.6, and then we'll probably get that continuation up into this zone up here. All right, I think that's all I wanted to talk about. Look at all my notes. Yep, got that. Good to go. And with that, unless someone in the chat wants me to go look at a ticker symbol or something, I'd be more than happy to do that. I'll give like a minute or so for that to go through. And then other than that, yeah, we'll just be signing off. looking really good in crypto land. I'm just gonna kind of fan through some of this stuff real fast, man. ADA, you can't stop it. Hot Holo token, get this shit out of here, man. I don't know anything about this. IOST, let's just go look at it just cause. Why not? We're here. It's on mostly shitty exchanges. Binance is the only one that's decent. Wow, but look at that again. That daily, that consolidation. This is what you like to see for big moves. It doesn't necessarily mean they go up, but this is what you like to see for big moves here. Nice volume on this thing. Just, wow, just massive pump. After I get off of this, I am going to be going and looking around for some laggard coins that haven't picked up the steam yet. And a good way to kind of do that, if you're interested in kind of how I fan through those really fast to try to find some, I use the 7-day on here, and I'll flip it back to negative, and I'll look at stuff that hasn't really done anything in the last week. So you can see there's a lot of stuff on here that's been mostly flat, and you're like, well, 10%'s a lot. No, not really. 10% ain't shit in crypto. I'm considering that mostly flat. And on that note, Polkadot, because that's a very popular coin right now. Let's go look at it real fast. Oh, yeah, it's already kind of had its move out of the consolidation. Continuation above probably about 10.50 and breakdown below about $9. So again, like I said, I didn't see nothing in the chat. I very much appreciate you guys tuning in, and yeah, let's get it in with the crypto world. Just be careful though. Be careful with the dollar. Watch that dollar chart. Here it is. If this gets back over and regains this 21 exponential, which it hasn't done in a few months, or I guess 2.5 months, whatever, if you want to be technical. I'm actually going to go ahead and put an alert on here too, because if we get above this, I want to know immediately. All right, guys. Much love. Again, thanks for tuning in. I'll try to be on tomorrow. If not, most definitely on Monday. And maybe I'll have some new coins that I dug out of the woodworks that have some nice consolidation patterns on them. All right, have an awesome rest of your Saturday and weekend. If I don't see you tomorrow, peace.
Thank you.